back. Welcome back to Retirement Decoded with Scott Tucker. I'm your host, Scott Tucker. This is my associate advisor,
Max Ryan.
And actually senior associate advisor.
Yeah, there we go.
Because the company's been growing, and Max has taken a leadership role. You can tell he's my right-hand man because he's a person that's always on the podcast with us. Max, on your camera at tuckeryoutube.com, how's your headroom? Is your headroom a little off?
I think it looks decent.
Bring it down a little bit. Pete's going to yell at us if you don't adjust that. Yeah, try that now.
See my big gut?
Your big gut. You can see that at tuckeryoutube.com. So we do have the audio podcast, but it also is available as a video at tuckeryoutube.com. And you can check us out over there. So let's see. We have Linda from Northbrook. Now, we're in Chicago. We're near O'Hare International Airport. And we are federally licensed. In fact, Max, just a couple days ago, we were helping one of our clients who used to live in Bensenville, Illinois.
Yep.
Kind of, I guess they're right near O'Hare. Bensenville borders O'Hare. And he moved out to Colorado Springs.
Yeah, fun area.
Yep, and we're still able, because we're federally licensed, we're still able to serve him even though he lives out of state. So we have folks in California, Colorado, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Texas. So if you're a U.S. citizen anywhere in the United States or its territories, we can serve you. We might even be able to serve you if you're out of the country, although I have to check with compliance on that one. If you're a U.S. citizen abroad, I'm not sure about that one.
Some countries we could. China, I'm afraid no.
Yeah, a little dicey over there. So Linda from Northbrook. Now Northbrook is just north of Chicago, great suburb. It's one of the towns, Max, where I play ice hockey.
Nice.
So I play on a Monday night league, men's league. We have our youngest player is 22. I am no longer 22. There's a New Trier High School, which is in Northbrook and those parts. New Trier High School. These two twin brothers that played high school for New Trier High School, which is a pretty good hockey team. One of the brothers plays hockey for us on Monday nights on the No Regret Skis, the men's league. We play in Northbrook and Glenview. Like that, back and forth. You go rink to rink, whatever the ice is available.
And what time do you play again for practice at least?
Oh, the Monday night games are usually on a Monday night somewhere around 9:30 p.m. face-off. But then I also do with Coach Kevin Delaney, DelaneyHockey.com. I also do a Tuesday morning. If I don't have a Monday night game, I do Tuesday morning practice. With Coach Delaney. He's a skills coach for the Ice Hogs. The Rockford Ice Hogs are a farm team for the Chicago Blackhawks. So Coach Delaney will do on Tuesday mornings at 5:50 a.m. in Skokie, Illinois at the stadium. We'll have that practice. And then on Thursday mornings at 6 a.m. in Evanston at the Robert Crown Community Center.
And then you're coming to work and running a business.
Yeah. Get up like 3 a.m., and
oh my gosh.
Get on the ice, get off the ice, take a shower, drive across town.
See, I don't know how you do you said 9:30 face-off?
Yeah, the Monday night games are 9:30 p.m. face-offs usually, around there. Sometimes they're a little earlier, sometimes they're a little later.
So you guys are finishing around 11?
Well, by the time you shower and stuff, yeah, you're probably leaving about 11.
Oh my God, and then you're getting home at like
11:30 or something. You got to unpack your pads and dry them and try to get to sleep and then try to get back up in the morning.
And then you're getting up 4 hours later,
something like that. So Linda in Northbrook. Now, if you live in Northbrook, Natalie, she gave me a tip. Natalie says that the place. So every weekend, Natalie goes shopping, and I don't go shopping.
It's like a weekly thing. I gotta go shopping.
She'll shop after work. She'll shop on the weekend, and she'll spend like $3 and get amazing stuff.
Yeah, just a knick-knack or something.
I don't know, just the act of shopping. So Linda in Northbrook, if you haven't tried this already, Natalie loves to go to the Goodwill in Northbrook. It has super high-end stuff. It's an affluent area, as you know, Linda in Northbrook. And the Goodwill in Northbrook, Natalie says all the items are $10.
Oh, there you go.
Like brand new clothes, $10 for this, $10 for that.
Yeah, high quality stuff.
We were down in Naples, Florida, I don't know, a year and a half ago for vacation in the winter, just for like a week, like around New Year's or something.
Yeah.
And the Uber driver told us to check out the Goodwill next to the Publix. And so we were going to Publix anyway. That's why the Uber driver said, "Oh, you got to check out the Goodwill." Everything at in Naples, Florida, that the Publix near the downtown Old Town part of Naples, the closest Publix there, a couple minute ride over to the main, whatever the main road is there. And that Goodwill had brand new stuff, and it was $5 per item.
$5.
Like people in Naples, it's a pretty ritzy area, and they're just like, oh, these clothes are so last year.
I would think the Naples would be more expensive than the Northbrook.
You would think so, right? Well, they're both affluent areas, but so the Northbrook one's $10 an item, and the Naples one's $5 an item.
Because I know the people in Miami and Naples and Fort Lauderdale, you guys are really hyper focused on your fashion and what you're wearing. So
that's why they take all their clothes to the Goodwill. They sold last year.
Yeah, last season. This isn't this year's color. So
So Linda Northbrook said, Max, are tax rates really going up after 2028? And what should I do now? So Linda might she might have a little bit of misinformation, or she might have some fake news.
There's a lot of that going on, so it's pretty easy to be misinformed right now.
We just had a client I was talking to the other day, and he said, well, yeah, so I'm going on Social Security in 4 months, but like President Trump said, I'm not going to have to pay taxes on it, right? And I go, no, that is not correct.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
I know it was talked about. I know he said it 100 times. I know he wishes it were true. But the president doesn't get to write the bill, the one big beautiful bill. He didn't get to write it. And he didn't get to, he tried to wrangle and get himself in the middle of it as much as he could. But then it came down to, that bill ended up being passed by the Senate.
Yep.
Senate Bill 1, I think it was. And so it became, and when he signed it into law, because it's the president, not a dictator, no matter what. I heard somebody call it, this is funny, because we help all different kinds of people, Republicans, Democrats, and in-betweens. I heard a Republican gentleman or a conservative gentleman the other day call it MS-13, MS-13 network or something instead of MSNBC.
Oh my gosh, that is funny. It
was MS-13 network, I think they called it. Yeah. So we get it. We hear it back and forth. We hear all the insults both ways. But you might hear like I was gonna say the president's a dictator. Well, actually, he doesn't always get what he wants. So President Trump wanted Social Security to be free from federal income tax. Instead, now this is confusing for a lot of people, especially people that are President Trump fans. They sometimes think that he said it's going to be tax free, so it is. And actually, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act doesn't say that Social Security becomes federally tax free for everyone. It says that certain people get a temporary tax deduction, and the tax deduction, it's a $6,000 per senior tax deduction, and you have to be 65 years of age. There are also phase outs if you make too much money, and the $6,000 per senior deduction ends at the end of the, depending on which way you count it, the second or third Trump administration. Right, Max?
It all makes so much sense,
is
right?
Is this the second or the third Trump administration?
Oh,
depends who you ask.
It seems like it was just one big administration, the whole thing, even with the Biden, Sleepy Joe.
Oh, jeez. So on January 20th, 2029, we're looking at a new administration, and the One Big Beautiful Bill Act doesn't say, let's say that the next president is J.D. Vance, right?
Which could happen.
It could happen, but the One Big Beautiful Bill Act doesn't say this. If J.D. Vance is president, then this deduction doesn't expire.
Right.
It just says this deduction expires after 2028.
Yep.
So January 2029, we're going to get a new administration. I know that's another topic, right? People say, what if he doesn't leave? What if he doesn't leave the White House, Max?
Oh my God. People are going crazy town.
The stuff people say is kind of nuts. Like,
it is crazy.
What if he refuses? What if there's a coup?
Nazi Germany. Oh God.
So on January 20th, 2029, we will in fact get a new administration, and it could be Republican, it could be Democrat. A lot of the things we're seeing lately from the prediction markets are looking like we might have a Democratic administration.
Yeah.
Is that what you've been seeing most recently? I know it's a little up in the air.
I think it's almost 90% chance now. House will go Democrat.
Yeah, well, I would expect that.
Yep, and then the Senate is, I think it's like around like 58%.
Well, now, are you talking about the midterm elections?
So I'm talking midterms.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm talking about the White House, and I know that's a long ways out, but the White House for the 2028 election going into 2029.
Yeah. So right now it's weird because if you go on Poly Markets and look at it, for the split, will the president be Democrat or Republican? It's a higher chance that it's going to be Democrat. But then if you look at the individual candidates who has the highest odds of being president, Right now, the top candidates are JD and Marco Rubio. So,
Oh, that's weird.
yeah, it doesn't make much sense. So maybe
So I guess there's a sentiment that we should have a different party in the White House. That seems to be the sentiment, or the likelihood, or the bettors, or the investors, I guess you could say, in poly market. They're betting that it'd be a Democrat.
Right.
But I think one of the problems that the Democratic Party has right now is they don't really have a leader.
Yeah.
And I think Kamala Harris wants to be the leader, but she already lost, and so I don't think she gets the second chance.
Yeah, and I think she stepped on a lot of toes.
Yeah.
Me personally too.
What did she do to your people? What happened?
My people, not so much. But one thing I don't like is a candidate that doesn't stand by with what they say, and they kind of
that never happened,
right? And what they say with one individual or one group they talk with, they change how they're talking with another group and how they may talk about that same issue. So
okay.
Noticed a lot of that going on, but that's classic politician talk, right?
Yeah.
So
they should know by now they can't get away with it because everything gets repeated everywhere.
Right.
So there's there's always a microphone, right?
Yep.
So Linda in Northbrook says max or tax rates really going up after 2028. So the question is maybe. Now, Max, I thought that the One Big Beautiful Bill Act made the Trump tax cuts permanent.
Yeah, I thought so too. Right now,
but they're permanent until what happens, Max?
Until they could get repealed or changed, right?
Yeah. So what we could have happen, there is a chance of this. We could have a Democratic House, a Democratic Senate, and then also a Democrat in the White House. So if they pull off that trifecta, they could repeal the One Big Beautiful Bill Act of 2025, and the Trump tax cuts are no longer permanent, or they could just write a new act. They could do that too. Just write a new act that says we're going back to the what the federal income tax rates were under President Obama.
Which were, by the way, tax rates that were passed by Republican legislation. It was Republican legislation. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so we could go back. But no, some of those tax rates are significantly higher.
A lot higher.
Yeah. And some people don't realize some of the brackets were 25% higher. What I mean by that is today there's a 12% bracket. And actually it's surprising how many people are in the 12% bracket.
Yep.
And if that bracket goes away and it goes back to what it was under President Obama, it goes from 12% to 15%. Mm-hmm. That's not an increase of 3%. When you go from 12% to 15%, that bracket grew by 25%. So it could be a significant tax hike for a lot of folks, including our seasoned citizens.
Yep.
And that would because that tax rate is applied to monthly pensions, to IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, deferred comp, TSP, SUP, Simple, KEO. Probably forgetting something.
You got all the big ones.
Oh, and up to 85% of your Social Security.
Right.
If you don't perform forward-looking tax planning.
It gets even worse.
I should mention, if you want to get on our phone calendar 15 minutes for free over the telephone with one of our financial planners, could be myself, Scott Tucker, Senior Associate Advisor, Max Wren. It could be Saida Mahmood. It could be Matt Mirabella. We have a whole bunch of advisors at the ready, and we can help folks all across the fruited plain. So you get our phone calendar at tuckerretirement.com. At tuckerretirement.com, you can see our phone calendar. Click and pick a time that works for you. If you forget where that is, you just click down below in description. That'll be for you. tuckerretirement.com for our phone calendar. And so Linda from Northbrook, she says she's been hearing a lot about tax rates going up. Now, that used to be what was going to happen back in 2025 if the One Big Beautiful Bill Act hadn't been passed on 4th of July of 2025. So, but yeah, there is a possible, Linda in Northbrook, there is a possible repeal of the Trump tax cuts coming up. So we always need to guard against that. And the best way to guard against that, I think, so if it could happen like less than 3 years from now, tax rates could go up, then the best thing to do is to get ahead of it.
Right. Do tax planning now.
Yeah. Says Linda isn't exactly sure what that actually means for her retirement plan. And so we kind of described it. Tax rates could go higher on IRAs, 401ks, monthly pensions, up to 85% of your Social Security. So you need to do some tax planning to get around that. A lot of folks think, Max, that they're just signed up for these higher taxes and they're just going to get hit with a brick, and that's just how it's going to be.
I mean, a lot of people have that mentality. A lot of people have the misconception that their taxes are going to be lower in retirement. It's actually the opposite. They'll go up every year almost.
Yeah, we're over. I haven't checked the debt clock today. We're over 40 trillion, I think, federal debt.
We broke 40?
Yeah, I think we are.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, we're right there.
I think
anyways,
we did.
So
Well, it changes. Now it changes so fast.
it does. I mean,
It's just nuts.
what was the statistic? We're spending $1 trillion every.
We're borrowing an additional. We're going to $1 trillion additional in debt every 100 days.
100 days, $1 trillion. Wow.
Yeah. No, that's another thing about because politics is such a thing, and we're hearing so many claims by so many people, left and right. And so when President Trump was running in 2024, it was, this Biden guy, he's spending like crazy, all this stuff. The problem is they haven't cut the spending. I know there was the whole Doge thing.
Yeah.
But it didn't really amount to much, and a lot of that got undone. But the Senate Republicans, one of the first things they did is they had a vote to continue at the Biden administration levels of spending.
Yeah, it's hard to stop. You make people mad when you cut off funding for something, right? You lose votes.
Yeah. So the people demand. What do the people demand? Fat-free cookies? I don't know. The people demand more spending, more borrowing.
Yeah, they want to be able to eat their cake and not put on the calories, right?
They want. I demand an indebted. I demand indebted grandchildren. That's what I demand. So the Republicans are spending just like the Democrats, and so they can't. There used to be a big thing. Oh, the Republicans go there and cut the budget and cut the taxes, and now they cut the taxes, but they don't cut the spending. So so that's the thing now.
So President Trump announced the increase that he proposed to the Congressional Budget Office. I think it was 1.9 trillion. He wants to increase the defense budget by.
I can't keep track. Trillion here, trillion there.
Anyways, the Congressional Oversight Committee, they were looking at how much that 1.9 trillion would cost the entirety of it. And because of interest, because of just fees or expenses tied to getting that 1.9 trillion, all in all, it's going to cost about 6 to 7 trillion. After
I think it's a bargain at it's a bargain at twice the price.
All right, well there we go.
Now, one thing, Linda in Northbrook, there are some advisors who are recommending rather basic strategies for tax planning. And I would say a basic strategy would be like, well, Linda, you ought to do a Roth conversion. Right?
Or tax loss harvesting.
Yeah. We're hearing the most of we're hearing that too. But the thing that everybody's talking about is just sort of the easy button. Well, just go do a Roth conversion and leave me alone. I have a tea time.
Yeah. And I think even that is going beyond above what we see a lot of people's advisors do.
That's true too.
There's really little kind of forward-looking tax planning going on.
Yeah, we see most advisors are focused on the investments only, and so they're not doing any forward-looking tax planning. Like we go out to about age 100, and then we also look at the next generation or your charitable inclinations as well. I think also you ought to have a financial planner that is looking at your healthcare needs, not only if you want to retire before 65. Max and myself, all of our advisors at Scott Tucker Solutions Inc. We're all licensed in Illinois for health insurance. We do have an under age 65 health insurance broker that we work with, and we also have a full-time Medicare broker for folks who are 65 and older. And we're also mindful of long-term care needs. Something a lot of folks never hear about from their advisor is a Medicaid asset protection trust. And so in Illinois, it's possible to protect all but $16,000 of your assets with an Illinois Medicaid asset protection trust. And now you have to have that in place about 5 years before you need care, for it to be fully effective, to be truly effective. And then you can have Medicaid actually pay for the costs of your senior living facility and your long-term care. And these fancy senior living places, they don't advertise that they take Medicaid money.
Yeah, they don't want the common folk there, just the
ritzy. Well, they don't. So if I'm trying to sell you, there's a place out in Arlington Heights that the unit is $1 million, and then it's $6,000 to $10,000 a month in fees to stay there.
Wow.
They don't want to advertise that, hey, your neighbor is going to be somebody on Medicaid who got it for free.
Yeah.
But they're going to take the money from Medicaid.
Still pays the bills. Yeah.
So a Medicaid Asset Protection Trust is a way. A lot of people are looking at that rather than long-term care insurance. Now, I'm not telling you to get rid of long-term care insurance if you already have it. But some folks are thinking, well, long-term care insurance is kind of a rigid product, and am I going to use it? So I would say Roth conversion is a pretty basic strategy. Tax loss harvesting. A lot of folks don't even ever hear about tax loss harvesting.
No.
But when it comes to the Roth conversions, that can help you with the biggest issue, which maybe are the tax deferred accounts. Tax loss harvesting can help you in your non-qualified investment accounts.
Yep.
Now there are other way more advanced strategies than those that we use at our company. So if you want to get on our calendar to talk about that, it's tuckerretirement.com.
Yeah. Within the IRS's tax code, there's about 1,700 provisions we're able to take advantage of to mitigate your taxes. It's kind of our job figuring out which ones of those 1,700 we should do for folks. So,
and so I would say if we got really basic, there's about 5 strategies we use the most. But like Max said, there are about 100 that we turn to regularly. And like 1,700, what people call those are loopholes. 1,700 loopholes.
Yeah, I don't like using the loophole because it's all legal and it's all things that are perfectly okay, right?
You know what they really are is they're incentives.
Yeah, incentives.
Right? And the incentives are there for a reason to drive behavior. So one of the incentives for the One Big Beautiful Bill Act of 2025, there's the opportunity not to use an opportunity zone, but to use a qualified opportunity fund. And so if you have highly appreciated assets, like let's say there's a apartment building you don't want to sell, we could sell that property, tax defer the long-term capital gains, putting the money into a qualified opportunity fund, grow that money 10 more years, potentially. And then at the end of 10 years, get out of that investment and pay no long-term capital gains on maybe that apartment building you sold or that highly appreciated stock you sold. Also pay no taxes on the qualified opportunity fund too. So 2 things there that are tax-free. You come out the other end and say, man, I'm glad I'm not a landlord anymore. And that qualified opportunity fund took the weight off my shoulders. Didn't have to think about it anymore. So
sounds like a win-win.
I tell you, we have a lot of folks that turn about 65-ish and they get tired of being a landlord. So
I would not want to be a landlord, especially where we are in Chicago. And it's not fun.
In Chicago and Crook County, belly of the beast. Get on our phone calendar at tuckerretirement.com. We'll see you on the next episode.